Hello guys, my name is Will and welcome to one more Path of Exile 2 video. In this one we are talking about beginner tips and tricks that you should know. Don't forget to subscribe. So one of the first easy things you should know when you're playing Path of Exile, you'll notice that you get a lot of unidentified items. I have some in my stash so I can show you guys, and I have these couple ones, alright? So when you start playing this game you get these items and they need to be identified. Which will you get these items here, which is a scroll of wisdom. You get these ones from the floor at the beginning of the game, and eventually you really need to use them. So you click on them, right click on them, and you use on an item, and you can identify that item and this way use it yourself, alright? But eventually, when you complete the first quests, this guy, the wooded one, will appear, okay? And then you can use this guy to identify your items, and it's much easier because you don't need to use those items, and this way when you identify items, identify all the items at once, so this will save you a lot of work. Then with the items you got, you have a couple of options you can do. You can sell them, you can disenchant them, and you can salvage them as well. The ones that can be salvaged will be the ones with this icon here. That means you can put one of these runes there, alright? But at the beginning there's no need to use that. You can just salvage for those resources that are much more important. So when you want to disenchant or just place any item there, you can just press Ctrl and right click on it and it goes directly to that place, okay? So you can do this and disenchant all of these items at once. Then we have these ones, and these ones it's really important because when you salvage them, you can go here, salvage, and you can salvage these ones with these icons. And when you salvage, it gives you these artificer shards. If you get 10, you get this artificer orb, okay? So with this one, eventually, you will get this item, and what it does is create one of these slots in your items, okay? On the quarter staff or main weapons with two ends, you can have 2 slots, and the only way to get the third slot is if you corrupt them with a Val orb, alright? But you don't need to worry with that at the beginning, that will be useful for the late end game. Mid to end game. On the head you can only socket 1, on the chest will be 2, on the ends 1, and boots 1 as well. The only way to get 2 here or 3 here or 2 here and 2 here is to with corruption, alright? Other way, just 1, 1, 1, 2, and 2. The only way to get the third one on these 2, or on all of them to get an additional one, is using a Val orb or corrupting it, but that's something you only need to care about on the mid to end game. So eventually you want to sell stuff in the market using Alva, okay? Eventually, when you reach the cruel difficulty, you get this one where you can currency exchange, and basically you can just change what you want with what you have. Depending on what you have or what you want will have different prices according with the currencies, okay? So just one quick thing, and I'm just gonna use a Val orb for this. So imagine I want Exalted Orbs for a Divine, and it's 286, alright? So just let's place this order. I got 286 Exalted. And now to take all of this from here, most of the people, they do this, alright, and it's 20 by 20, this is a big pain. So the easiest way is to press Ctrl and left click on it, and you got all of them at once. Of course, if you want to place them back in your inventory, you need to left click to put all of them there, and that's the easiest way to do it. So if you got a currency tab like this one, it's much easier to slot your things there because they go directly to the place they should be. Like if I put these ones there, they go directly to the place where they should be. It's much easier. If not, you just need to use your own tabs and organize it in the best way for you. So since we are here, let's talk about the currency we have. So we have all of these ones and eventually the mirror. This one is the most expensive one, and it's very rare. It's like 287 divines, which is a lot. So before that you only have these ones. So this first one will add one item, one modifier to one item. This one will add a second one, so you need to, if you have a white one, you need to use one of these, and then this one, and will convert to a rare item, and after that you can get until 6 modifiers. After that you need to use Exile.orb. The other way is that if you have a white item, you can use Orb of Alchemy and will add 4 modifiers at once. Alright, then we have the Chaos Orb. This one removes the random modifier for a new one, okay? We use this one when you have like any modifier that you want to change. Imagine if I don't want to change one of these modifiers and I want to gamble a little bit, I can just pick one Chaos Orb and use on it and have a chance to change one of those modifiers. Other thing is, it only works on a rare item, so to be able to do this, I'll need to use a Regal Orb to convert it to a rare item, and after this I could use it to change one of the modifiers. Then we have the Corruption. Usually the Corruption you should use when your item is at its maximum, but be careful because this can be good and can be really bad. It can change all of your modifiers and turn an amazing item to an awful item, so be careful using this. Then we have the Exalted Orbs. These ones will add new random modifiers, and it's one of the most used currencies, which I will talk about after this. Then we have the Divine Orb. This one randomizes all the modifiers, so imagine I have 12, 18, 5. If I use a Divine Orb, will change all my values on this item. Then we have the Orb of Annulment. This one will remove a random modifier, and then we have Orb of Chance that will upgrade a normal item, so a white one like these ones, with a chance to turn it into a unique. Keep in mind that not all of the items turn to good uniques, okay? Some of them can turn to good uniques, like Sapphire Rings are one of the most expensive ones, or Stellar Amulets are very expensive as well, the uniques that you get from there. So keeping that in mind, that this can destroy it or turn to a unique item, but again, this is something you need to worry about on the late game. So since we are talking about currency, the most used currencies in the market is Exalted Orbs, Divine Orbs, and the Mirror on the late game, with very unique items and expensive ones. But keep in mind, not all of them have the same values. So talking about Exalted, which is the most used currency, for example, this Orb of Transmutation, I think it's at the moment like 400 or 300 for one Exalted, but Chaos Orb at the moment is 5 Exalteds, okay? So one Chaos Orb, it's 5 Exalteds, and one Divine, as you guys seen, is almost 300 Exalted Orbs, so depending on each one, will have a different currency exchange. So the currency exchange is when you are exchanging one item for another. So, for example, as I said, Chaos Orb at the moment, you guys can check here the market ratio. So one Chaos Orb is 5.7 Exalted Orbs. So keep in mind, the more you are trading, the more you can get, alright? Because if I trade 1 for 5, I'll be losing like 0.7. They can give me 0.7 Exalted Orbs, so the best way will be to have like a exacted value like this, alright? So I'm getting 3 Exalted Orbs for 15 Exalteds, okay? I still losing because should be a little bit more, so keep this in mind. If you changing more will be better for you, because if you're just changing one, you will lose this 0.7. Then we have all of these other items. These ones is to add sockets, these ones is to improve the quality on a weapon, this one on armor, and this one on a staff, wand or scepter. This one to add a socket, this one to Indentify, this one is to add one more slot for a support gem. This one, the greater, will be to add the fourth one, so this one you will have as default 2, so this one will have the third, this one will add the fourth, this will be a perfectual that will add a fifth slot. Then this one will improve the quality, because some of these skills will have a quality. To check that, you place your mouse over it and then you press Alt and you can see what you get from the quality, okay? Keep in mind, some of these don't have, like this one doesn't have anything from quality, so it's not worth it to invest any quality there, because you're not getting nothing from that investment. These ones will be for flasks, but I don't recommend to use this at the beginning, just for the late game. And then we have all the runes that we can slot in our items, okay? So basically you just need to pick them and insert in the slots that you want, alright? Most of the times on a weapon, the best ones and chests, the best ones will be iron ones, and then you can complete the other items with resistances or anything that you may need, like mana regen. There's a couple of iron, runes you can use, but at the beginning you don't need to worry about that much about this. Eventually, when you reach like cruel, mid to end game, you can start doing it just to improve improve your items, the damage, resistances, everything that you may need. So besides the halt working here to check what additional effects you get from quality, is the same thing for weapons. If you press Alt, you can check the tier, okay? So we have it's from tier 1 to tier 10, and the highest the tier, the highest the value you can get from this. So for example, T8 is really good, it's gonna give you the best value between these numbers, alright? So I'm getting 160 and it's between 122 and 183. Same thing here, a T7 that can reach 28. If it was a T9, this number will be even higher. So one way to know if your item is good is knowing which tier is. If it's more than T5, if it's a T7, T8, T9, it means that that modifier, it's really good, it has a really great value. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that that item will be good, because some of these modifiers maybe will not be good for you. For example, I don't have any life at the moment because of one of the nodes I'm using, and this stuff is giving me life per enemy killed, which is not useful for me, but everything else is good for my builds, okay? So keep this in mind, but at the beginning of the game, especially at 1 to 3, you don't need to worry much about this. Everything will be an improvement for you. If you check the item, one of the easiest ways to know if the weapon is better is just to slot here a different weapon and see how much DPS you get from your main skill. Another way to compare your items is pressing shift. So I go here, I can press shift and I can see both items side by side and see what stats one is giving me and what stats the other one is giving me. Okay, and this way I can know if I have better stats on the other weapon. So using this as an example, as you guys can see, I have more physical damage on the left weapon, but I have less physical damage on the right weapon. But I have much more lightning damage and critical damage bonus and intelligence that is good for my build. So on the mid to late game, you will understand that some stats will be better for you than others. So since we are talking about checking stats and stuff, if you want to check how much critical strike you have or any other stats, you need to press this arrow here and will give you more detailed information. It tells you how much damage per second it's doing, it tells you your critical chance and as well your rarity modifier, which will be important for the late game. You don't need to worry about this on the mid to end game. It's something that you only want to invest when you are on the end game and your build and your items are already good, so you want to make it as much perfect as you can. Talking about the market once again, one of the easiest ways to check the price of something is using one of the new add-ons that a lot of people are using, which is the Sidekick. I'm gonna leave the link below so you guys can check that add-on and you can use it, it's safe, it's not bannable by GGG. According with the policy of them, they are happy with this add-on and everyone that is using it, so you guys can use it as well. So basically you guys just need to install it on your computer and then it's pretty easy. When you get a new item, you can just place the mouse over it, press Ctrl D and will open a new window. On this window you can check the stats from this chest in this case, and then you click on those and will give you the price of similar items. Of course you have others, for example maybe there's this chest which is mine, the next one is 150 as well, but keep in mind sometimes this price is not the right one. And one of the great examples for that is I don't have any, but it's the Sapphire Rings and Stellar Amulets. When you get white ones, don't sell them on the market for 1 exalted or something like that, because they are very valuable. All the white items, not these ones at the moment, just because The game has been launched in early access for a long time, so no one cares about these ones anymore. But everyone is looking for Sapphire Rings and Stellar Amulets, the white ones, because with these ones they can use Orb of Chance and convert it to a unique item, alright? With those unique items, for example, the one you can get from a Stellar Amulet can give you, the one you turn to unique can give you 290 divines, which is a lot. And because of that, at the beginning you don't want to mess with that. Probably will be easier for you. You guys can see from here, just on the chat, one guy is buying white Sapphire Rings and Stellar Amulets, so you guys can see he's buying 2 Stellar Amulets for 1 Divine, which is a lot. And if you are just starting, if you just reach the end game, 1 Divine can be a big difference for you, because you can do big upgrades on your gear. If you search the right stats on the market, I'm pretty sure with 1 Divine you can get something pretty good for your build that you are doing at the moment. But if you are just starting, selling a white Sapphire Ring or a white Stellar Amulet can give you 20 Exalted or 1 Divine at the moment. So again, about items, you can get only 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. So for example, elemental damage on this weapon and physical damage and adding any type of damage only goes to prefixes. So imagine if you are using Exalted Orbs and you already have 3 prefixes, and one of them is that ones of you don't need to use more Exalted Orbs, because you don't get more than 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. And this way, it's much better, because you will know if it's worth to keep investing on that item or not. But this tip is for a mid to end game when you're crafting your items. And crafting your items is when you are using this currency to use on an item. I can do something there, I can do something here just to show you. For example, this white one, let's just do something here. So for example, I'm gonna use the Orb of Transmutation. I get the first one, which is a suffix, not good. We get this one, which adds another modifier, and it's giving me a prefix. So as you guys can see, this prefix is giving me 50 physical damage, and I have a weapon with 154. Of course I don't need this one, and because of this I'm not gonna invest on this weapon anymore. But I have 2 more and I can show you. So I'm just gonna identify them. So this one has 2 prefixes and 3 suffixes. So on this one it looks like 4, but actually it isn't. It is and it's not at the same time, because accuracy rating can go as a prefix and can go as a suffix. So we got accuracy on the prefix and accuracy on the suffix, and at the moment I'm not gonna invest on this item, because I think accuracy here at the moment, and accuracy here and all of the other stats doesn't look good for me, okay? And of course this item, if I got a good one, will be to sell on the market and not for myself. This one I can look here, and these ones, for example, it's really good when you get 2 prefixes or suffix with evasion rating, because we'll have much more evasion rating. We can check mine, which is a good example. For example, this one, this is what you want. I got evasion rating here and evasion rating, so I got 2 evasion rating and 2 increased evasion rating, and this way it's gonna increase a lot, okay? So I got one of the prefixes is still 3, as you guys can see. There's a T8, a T6 and T7. So as a T7 I got evasion rating, as a T6 I got these 2, and T8 I got more evasion rating, and then these 3 suffixes, okay? So only 3 and more 3 suffixes, 3 prefixes, 3 suffixes, and sometimes this stuff can happen having one with these same stats, and these stats will add to the other ones you already have on your item, and will be much more than just getting one of those, alright? So this is a really good help to know about your items, but you only need to look for this type of items on your late game. So this is everything I want to talk about in this video. These are some beginner tips and tricks you should know when you're starting playing this game. This is the first one I'm doing. I want to do one more. I didn't want to talk about so much stuff in the first video, because I don't want this to be too much overwhelming for you, and because of that I'll do another video. So guys, stay tuned for the next one, and make sure to leave that like and subscribe to check the next video with beginner tips and tricks. I hope this video helped you a lot, thank you so much for watching and see you next time.